Hi, Gina Timmins. Who's calling?
I'm calling you from the Happy Dale Mental Hospital.
What's the matter?
We need you to come in right away. I have the unfortunate duty of informing you that a terrible accident took place this morning.
Et come disti deligno, et quo praecere eram tibi, ne comederes maledicta terra, in opere tuo, in laboribus comedes eam cuntis diebus via tua.
And we will prove that last April 30th on Mile Island, Colonel Kordsmeier was murdered by Brian Basco in cold blood. The defense will attempt to confuse you with trickery and lies.
Los germinavi tibi e comedes ervas terrae, in sudore vultus tui vesceris pane dona revertalis, in terram de quo assuntus escuia pulvis, es et in pulverem revertem.
Order!
For the last time, Mr. Basco, tell us what you remember.
I don't remember anything.
Oh, yes. Amnesia. If you think you'll get off by pretending to be insane, then you've really lost your mind.
I want order!
Ava eo quod mater essent, cunctorum viventim. Feci quo quereminus Deus Adam et uxorieis tunicas felicias et induiteos. Et aite que Adam factus es quasi unus et novis siens.
And given the doubts created by the defendant's mental health, he will be admitted into Happy Dale Psychiatric Hospital, where Dr. Bennett will determine whether his supposed insanity has any basis in reality. I'm postponing this trial until then.
No! I'm not crazy!
Gina!
Brian?
It's me.
What's your game? You call me telling me I have to identify a headless body to say it's yours, and then you've vanished for 2 days?
Get me out of here.
I went to your bogus burial and... All right. Where are you?
Buried in my grave.
That can't be. How am I gonna get you out of there? This is insane. Get me out of this tomb, say nothing to anyone. Be careful, murderer's waiting at exit. Battery low, come quick, banana. Banana? I don't know what went down in Hawaii, or what they did to you in that psychiatric ward. I don't know why you escaped, or why you faked your own death. I don't know how you got down there. I don't even know whether you're the Brian I know. All I want is for everything to go back to normal. That's all right, though. I won't ask for help, I won't call the cops, and I won't leave the cemetery. But I will get you out of there. You win, Brian. We'll play it your way. I don't know. Carrying that around would be a chore, but the ribbon alone... It'll be a great souvenir from Brian's phony funeral. Huh? What a weird machine. Wonder what that's for. A ladder here? Huh?
Hello, dear.
Hello?
Up here, on the roof.
Do I know you?
Well, of course not, dear. I'm Agatha Saffron von Rubenstein, PhD in parapsychology and poltergeistian phenomena from the University of Virginia, member of the North American Parapsychological Association, and also I'm a medium. Because I like it.
Nice to meet you. I'm Gina Timmins.
It's amazing, my dear, how much pain is in your aura. Come inside. I'll help you stop your suffering. Hurry, I'll be right down.
Well, this is an interesting start. Agatha?
Hello, dear. Let's start from the very beginning. How long is it you've been dead now?
What? No, I'm alive. As far as I know.
Oh, well, isn't that a shame? You really could have helped me out here.
Well, sorry. Helped you what?
To find out whether the spirits in this cemetery are on my side or not. Reverend McCormick asked me to find out why the poltergeists infesting this graveyard are here. But first, I must know if they're on my side or not.
Is something weird going on in this cemetery?
Weird? Not at all. Well, the only strange thing is it seems like a UN summit with such an international set of spirits. Besides that, just the usual. Miscellaneous poltergeists and a hideous past tormenting the primordial energy here, which, by the way, is centered precisely inside this crypt.
Why do you say the cemetery seems like the UN?
Because there are spirits from many different countries. China, France, Germany, Spain, Brazil, Sweden, Egypt, Australia, and a few from right here, like you.
Agatha, I am not a ghost. I'm not even dead.
You're not? Well, have it your way.
What's so hideous about the past of this crypt?
A horrific, shameful, and hideous crime. During the Civil War, before this graveyard was here, this used to be a Yankee prison.
Oh, let's drop it. I'm not into wars. So what do these poltergeists, which Reverend McCormick is so scared of, do?
Oh, lots of mischief. You know how these spirits can be. They drag chains, howl, lift their skirts when nuns come by, suddenly appear before visitors. They're such rascals.
Okay, this is getting pretty gross. Let's talk about something else. Tell me about that cable you slid down.
My parabiothermal cable? Well, it detects sudden changes in temperature caused by paranormal phenomena.
Ah, like in the movies, when a ghost is going to appear and everything starts to look cold?
More or less. But in movies, they never quite get these things right. The more subdued spirits, like the ones in this crypt, display their temper using temperatures. If they are displeased by a presence, they emit heat. But if they are happy, they give off cold.
How does that cable work?
Very well, dear. Its filaments are temperature sensitive. If there is a variation of more than 20 degrees Celsius in less than 5 seconds, they send a signal to the ectothermal scanning machine outside the crypt. By analyzing its readings, I am able to determine the temperament or mood of the spirit that caused the thermal change. Pretty simple, isn't it?
So why did you put it right here?
Because I need to know whether the spirits in the crypt who are in charge around here are happy with my presence. If they emit cold temperatures, I can make contact with any spirit in this cemetery. But if they give off heat, then I'd better clear out, and Reverend McCormick will just have to find another medium.
Fascinating, Agatha, but let me ask you something else. See you later, Agatha.
Whenever you want, dear.
I bet that flashlight could be useful. But Brian always says that when you find things like this, the batteries are always dead. Agatha, does that flashlight work?
I just changed the batteries yesterday. Take it if you like.
Well, that proves Brian's first law wrong. According to Agatha, it detects sudden temperature changes, both hot and cold. Yikes! What a welcoming place. Huh? A tunnel! Wait a sec. If I've got this right, then behind that wall is the hole they buried Brian in. Not that that improves things much, but at least now I know I have two options. Either move the slab of stone off the grave and start digging, at the risk that somebody might see me, or break through this wall. Doesn't look easy. But at least I'm not out in the wide open with nosy people walking by. It gives me the creeps, but Brian is behind that wall. So if I don't take the urn, I might end up spilling its contents. Although, it would be worse if they poured out into my pocket. Didn't something like that traumatize a character on 6 Feet Under for years? Yes, that's the thing to do. Darn, someone could have put a hole, tunnel, lever, or something else that might make it easier for me to reach Brian. I have no other choice but to remove one of these blocks of stone. But which? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I think it'll be best to choose that one in the middle with the ring. It'll be easier to remove than the ones on the side. From up here, I can see how the giant angel is anchored better. Yeah, sure. I'll get right on it. Graves, graves, and more graves. Huh, I hope I don't have to find anything among them. It would take me everlasting eternity. I've been here before when the hearse brought Brian in. Rolls Royce. And they say dying is the worst thing that can happen to you. Let's see if it's open. A flat spare tire. What a driver. Nice calendar he's got here. An old blanket. Oh, and one of those straps they use to lower coffins into the grave. I'll just borrow that. A constant flow of water is trickling out. That can't be good considering the drought. Man, it's darker in here than when we came for Brian's pseudo-funeral. I guess Reverend McCormick turned out all the lights when he left. Hey, this thing's keys are in the ignition. Something tells me it won't work. Okay, it works, but enough is enough. Someone might show up. If things start to get ugly when I get Brian out, at least we have a way to escape now. Father, I'm trimming the hedges. If you need me to put the coffins together, ring the bell. Signed by someone named Luann. It's fairly dark in there, but I think it might be a maintenance room. There's something behind this grating. If only I could get it open. Let's see if it works. Nope. Either it's broken or it's locked shut. I think I've come up with better ideas before. Yeah, looks like there's something underneath. A trap door. They better not keep their dog in there. That might be useful. Considering where I found it, it seems pretty clean. No, stealing 1 cent of that money would be worse than holding up every bank in the state. What do you mean, mailbox? That's the place to leave alms for the poor if you've got some spare change. Just a tired old lock keeps thieves from taking what's inside. Let's see what happens if I climb on this. Why, yes! It was a wooden box. Think there's something inside? Hey, a key. I wonder what it's for. Let's see if it fits this lock. Okay, once I rescue Brian, I'll bring it back here. Someone told me that in the olden days, these baskets didn't have such long handles, but they added them when it was discovered rich people always sit as far away from the aisle as possible.
Don't you worry your holy old self for nothing.
Hurry up, little mama.
Well, looks like I managed to get that janitor girl to come. I hope Reverend McCormick doesn't show up at some point and ruin my plan. Hello?
Wait. You're the gal from that crazy guy's funeral. Is that where I saw you before?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, but don't come crying to Luann. I'm busier than a bee in a beehive. Gotta run. See ya.
Wow, you are so insensitive.
Oh, all right, sorry. My sincerest condolences and all that. Thing about this job is that you just get sick of all them weepy widows always crying at you. Anything else?
What's got you so busy, Luann?
Well, this here, can't you see? I've got to get these coffins together before the Tombs for Everyone charity benefit. But the instruction manual's in gibberish and I can't understand a word. But if anyone can get this done, I can.
I've never heard of do-it-yourself coffins before.
Me neither. But the old Reverend bought these unassembled on the internet, and I've just got to deal with it. They're cheaper than pig's milk, but they're good enough for your final rest.
Well, I could think of a case or two in which that might just come in handy. What exactly does tombs for everyone consist of?
Well, it's this thing where if you're poor and you kick the bucket, everything's on the house. We pay for the coffin, the hole, the wreath, the stone slab. It used to be called Put a Tomb in Your Life, but that didn't catch on.
What's up with the manual?
Well, it's in Swedish, and not even a schoolmaster can understand it. It's like Chinese, but worse, because you can find a Chinaman anywhere, but who in tarnation knows where to find a Swede?
Would you let me see the assembly manual? I don't know, maybe I could help.
Besides being a rich city slicker, you figure you're some sort of engineer, huh? Well, take it.
Doesn't look easy, but we'll have to try.
You thought I'd just have one manual and wouldn't let you borrow it, huh? Well, Luann's accepting help today, so if you can understand any of that gibberish...
What's behind that big door?
My tools. But get close to them and I'll punch your lights out. They're mine, got that? Dang, it's getting colder and colder in here.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of tools do you have?
Man, I got more than the little furry balls on an old sweater. They're mostly garden tools, but I also got the circular saw and the hole-making thing, and the one that puts staples, and the circular saw, and...
You already said that.
What, the circular saw? That's 'cause I like it more than the field without cow pies. It cuts through metal things like a hot knife through butter.
What if I asked you for one tool and promised to return it right away?
What if I smacked you once, but then smacked you again 2 seconds later?
Okay, already, forget it. Why are you in such a hurry?
'Cause I met this manly stud, and he's waiting for me to get off work. His name's Ernie, and he is the finest gentleman I've ever come across.
I think I know that Ernie guy.
If you try to steal my man, I'll slap you silly. Ernie's mine, you got that? Man, for once I reel in a hot catch, and a city broad tries to steal him away from me.
So he's waiting for you? Are you guys going on a date somewhere?
He's taking me bowling. Ain't as serious as going to the Sunday ball, but since they don't have them around here...
You like the guy that much?
Better than a new hoe. Man, I'm even thinking of giving up my sacred chrysanthemum to him.
Oh my, how did you meet?
I was hacking away at the hedges. He came over and said some pretty things like that any sane man would fall in love with me. That he couldn't avoid falling for little old me, for me not to stop loving him and stuff like that, about love and the like.
Let's stop gossiping about Ernie.
You stop gossiping. I got dibs on him and he's mine.
Talk to you later. I don't want to make you late.
So what do you think you've been doing up to now? This city slicker's not too swift.
Hammer, pliers, file, scissors. This thin one here seems most familiar to me. How weird. It's on, but it's empty.
Well, of course. Who would be such a numbskull as to put something in there?
Why's that?
Because it's always on the fritz, and no sooner do you stick something in it than it goes pow, and it deep freezes everything to the core, so careful. Man, I don't know why I'm even warning her.
Okay. Ah, more of the same. Graves and tombs and sepulchres. Oh my! Brian's text message said not to leave the cemetery, but I don't see what's wrong with approaching the front gate. Ernie? You're still here?
Gina Basco. How's it going, kid?
Great, fine. I mean, actually terrible. I'm distraught. Thanks for attending the funeral.
Oh, well, I was Basco's favorite orderly, and he was my favorite nut job. How could I miss his funeral? What's more, Happydale didn't send anyone to it. But of course, with everything that's going on down there, that place is like crazy. Hey, Gina, I got a joke for you. You ain't nothing but a mad dog.
Well, well, you sure kept the thing about Luann all to yourself.
How'd you find out?
Ernie, it's easier to catch a man red-handed than a child. Want to know something else? You just drive her crazy. She wants to jump your bones.
And Ernie here wants to jump hers, babe. Don't get me wrong, you're a hottie too, but she is blonde, of course.
I'd love to know how you met.
Well, it wasn't the best time, but I noticed her during the funeral. Then, when she started trimming some hedges, I went over and showed her my Harley, and we ended up making a date for the bowling alley.
You make a great couple.
She is a hunk of love. I can't remember the last time I fell for such a sizzling number. Why, it's been hours.
Don't worry, she'll be out soon.
I hope so, because I really want to hit them pins. Don't get the wrong idea, though. I never make out with a girl on the first date. Except when I want to.
I bet you could spend all day talking about her, but I can't.
Babe, if you were into Luann as much as Ernie is, well, we'd have us a problem. Or on second thought, things could get interesting.
There's something I need to tell you about Brian.
Shoot, babe. I'm all ears.
Did you notice anything strange about him in his final days?
You know what, babe? I think Brian knew he had something coming. He was nervous-like. Couldn't stop pacing around, talking to one guy, then another. It's as if he had a sixth sense, telling him, "Get a move on, kid. Things are almost over with here." Wait, I almost forgot. Brian's the one with the bag. Looks good on him, huh?
Clearly he adapted to his new environment pretty well.
Yeah, well, we took this picture the day before Brian, you know, just keep it. It's all yours.
How original. I didn't know people gave gifts at funerals, but thanks.
Nothing's too good for my favorite brunette, darling. If I hadn't fallen in love with Luann today, I'd have done even more.
Did you hear him talk about some place he would have liked to visit?
Not that I can remember now, no.
What do you know about Brian's attempted escape?
Nothing. Just what people were saying. That he tried to escape through the air ducts and that his head got chopped off by a big fan. Poor nutjob.
Who else could tell me more about Brian's final days?
The guys who knew Brian best at Happydale were Dr. Bennett, who's now missing, and his fellow escapees, Jacob Kurgan and Gabbo Spiegelman. You're going to have a hard time, babe.
One other thing. What did you really think about Brian?
Well, Ernie already told you. Brian was his favorite nut job. What do you mean?
Do you think Brian murdered Kordsmeier?
Kordsmeier was that military brass, right? Hey, I don't know, babe. Maybe he did and maybe he didn't. You never know with these nut jobs.
Do you really think Brian was insane?
Obviously, babe. Crazier than a cuckoo.
By the way, Brian is alive.
Babe, Brian will always be alive in our memories. But you need to turn the page and live your own life. Once I get over this Luann thing, I'll call you up and help you.
I guess nobody doubts Brian is dead. Like, totally dead, right?
Well, maybe I shouldn't tell you this, but there's rumors that when they found him, he was a bit... how should I put it?
Headless? I know, Ernie. I'm the one who identified his body.
Oh, babe, that's horrible. Then why are you asking this stuff? Who'd know better than you?
Maybe I just need to get used to not talking about Brian all day long.
It's normal, babe. He's always on your mind.
Why did you say the psychiatric hospital is like crazy?
Haven't you heard, hon? Just 2 days ago, right when Brian keeled over, 2 inmates escaped and Dr. Bennett disappeared. An office ceiling collapsed and a nurse who just got hired decided to quit. And she was some major eye candy, that little lady. Ooh.
Bennett disappeared? The same Dr. Bennett that was treating Brian?
The very same. I don't know if he'd finished his report for the judge, determining whether Brian was crazy or not. But who cares at this point?
Which 2 inmates escaped?
That'll be Jacob Kurgan and Gabo Spiegelman. From what I've heard, all 3 tried to skip the nut house together, but Brian got the worst part.
Don't you think it's weird that so many unusual things happened in such a short time?
Nope. It's like that movie. Unfortunate events always seem to happen in a series.
Getting back to our last topic. Don't call me Basco. My last name is Timmins.
So, you're ashamed of Basco. Of Brian. Wow. And he never stopped talking about how much he loved you and what a hottie you were. And he wasn't hallucinating either.
Brian and I aren't married. I'm not really sure what you'd call our relationship.
Well then, you're not a widow, and he's nothing more than a deceased friend.
I'm not ashamed of Brian, no matter how nerdy he can be. He's the kindest man I've ever met.
Well, considering the string of gems you've come across in the past. Brian told me all your exes were, not very recommendable bachelors.
I'd hate to have to give up my father's last name. I've already abused it so much as it is.
Well then, were you using your own name in that place where you used to dance? I thought you would have made up some kind of stage name, like Bubbles or Candy Cane.
How do you know about that? Damn Brian! He's gonna hear from me. He's gonna learn to keep his big fat mouth shut.
I don't mean to take sides, but I think Brian's already learned a thing or 2 about keeping quiet.
Just drop it. My last name is none of your business.
Okay, babe.
I need to go back to Brian's grave a while. You understand.
Don't let it get to you, babe. Whatever doesn't kill you just makes you smell better.